Now we're gonna learn some basic greetings and phrases in Spanish. So the first word and the most common word is hola. Hola, which means hi or hello. Hola. Hola. So I think this one is the first word that almost everyone learns. Hola. Hi, hello. And you can also say ¿Qué tal? Which means how is it going? ¿Qué tal? How is it going? ¿Qué tal? And if you want to be a little bit cooler, you can say ¿Qué onda? Which means what's up? ¿Qué onda? What's up? So ¿Qué tal? And ¿Qué onda? Are both informal, but I think ¿Qué onda? Is even more informal. This one you use with like your friends. You don't go up to your boss and say ¿Qué onda? Unless you have a very, very good relation with your boss, that you can actually go use the informal speech. And the way to reply to ¿Qué tal? Is that you can say bien, which means good. Bien, bien. And if you're not good, you can say mal, which means bad. Mal, mal. Or you can also say genial, which means great. Genial, great, genial. So one more time. Bien, mal, genial, genial. And in the morning when you wake up, you can say buenos días, which means good morning. But the literal translation is good day, good days. Buenos días. So you say good morning, good day. Buenos días. And in the afternoon, you can say buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. And at night, buenas noches. Good evening or good night. Buenas noches. Buenos días. Buenas tardes. Buenas noches. And the way to reply is that you can basically say the same thing back to the person. If somebody says buenos días, you can just reply buenos días. Buenas tardes, you reply buenas tardes. And if they say buenas noches, you just reply buenas noches. So this one is very simple. You just reply whatever they say. And you can also say que pases un buen día, which means have a good day. This one is rather informal. Que pases un buen día. Que pases un buen día. Have a good day. And if you want to be formal, you can say que pase un buen día. So this one you're referring to a person that you have to address that person in a more formal way. Maybe the person is older than you. Que pase un buen día. And you can also say ¿Cómo estás? Which means how are you? This one is informal. ¿Cómo estás? So this one you can say between your friends. If you meet your friend, you can say Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hi, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? And if you meet your boss, you can say ¿Cómo está? How are you, but formal. ¿Cómo está? And if it's two or more people, you can say ¿Cómo están? How are you all? ¿Cómo están? How are you all? ¿Cómo están? So one more time. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo están? And the way to reply to this is that you can say bien, gracias, fine, thanks, bien, gracias. You can also say mal, which means bad, mal. And if you're feeling so-so, you can say más o menos, más o menos, más o menos. However, if you say bad or más o menos, mal or más o menos, they might actually ask you ¿Por qué? Why? ¿Por qué? Why? So if your Spanish is maybe not so good enough, that you cannot reply to why, you cannot explain why you feel bad or why you're so, you can just go for the default, which is bien, gracias. Even though you might be feeling bad, if your Spanish is not good enough, it's better to just go for the default. And this way you don't have to explain yourself, why you're bad, and all of those things. So you can just say, bien, gracias. Okay, so this one is, ¿por qué? Why? ¿Por qué? And another phrase is, ¿cómo te llamas? Which means, what is your name? This one is informal. ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? And the formal way of saying it is, ¿cómo se llama? What is your name? But formal, ¿cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo se llama? And the way to reply to this is that you can say, me llamo, which means I call myself. So this one is the literal translation. Me llamo, I call myself, and then your name. So for example, I would say, me llamo Hugo. I call myself Hugo. So basically, my name is Hugo. Me llamo Hugo. And another way of saying it is, mi nombre es. My name is. So this one is a more direct translation, but both of them are basically the same. You can use either one or the other. Mi nombre es Hugo. My name is Hugo. Mi nombre es Hugo. But I think the most common one is rather, me llamo Hugo. Me llamo. And another one that you can say is gracias, which means thank you. Gracias. Thank you. Gracias. And you can say de nada. You're welcome. De nada. You're welcome. Gracias. Thank you. De nada. You're welcome. And another phrase is perdón, which means sorry. Perdón. Sorry. Perdón. And if you want to grab the attention of somebody, for example, you want to ask your professor something, or you're at the shop and you want to ask a question, you can say disculpe, which means excuse me. Disculpe. Excuse me. Disculpe. And if you are passing through and you need to tell somebody that that person might need to move, that you're passing through, you can say con permiso, which means excuse me, but passing through. So we kind of make a distinction here. Con permiso, passing through. If you're passing through and you tell the person disculpe, it sounds a little bit like you actually want to grab their attention to ask them something. Disculpe, excuse me. But con permiso is more like excuse me. So you can see the difference right here. One is for passing through and one is for grabbing the other person's attention. Disculpe, con permiso. And to say goodbye, you can say adiós, goodbye. Adiós, adiós. And you can also say ciao, which means bye, or it basically comes from Italian. It means ciao in Italian, but this one is just ciao, bye. So this one we just grab it from Italian, but we use it in Spanish. So you can say adiós or ciao with the letter U, ciao. And another way of saying goodbye is that a lot of people say hasta luego, which means until later or see you later. Hasta luego, until later, see you later. So this one is a little bit more common. Not many people say adios. Most people say hasta luego. And if you know you're gonna see that person the next day, for example, maybe you go to work at the same place and you just know that that person has to be there the next day, you can say hasta mañana, until tomorrow, or see you tomorrow. Hasta mañana, see you tomorrow. Hasta mañana. So hasta luego, this one is until later or see you later, and maybe you don't know when you're going to see that person again, you can just say hasta luego, see you later, until later. And hasta mañana, this one is more precise. This one means that you will see the person the next day. Hasta mañana. So that's it for this one. And as always, thanks for watching. So now it's your turn to practice Spanish. You can find the lessons Quizlet by going into the lecture resources folder. Thanks for watching.